modernity. And from modernity only, after having the understanding about modernity, we can know about postmodernity. When we talk about our society, then we can say that our society has gradually developed. And there was a time when the knowledge was based on faith and belief. And that stage is said to be the stage of theology, so far as epistemology or knowledge is concerned. At that point of time, whatever knowledge, whatever information was passed from the earlier generation, that was accepted on the basis of belief. There was no questioning of that. It was believed that whatever information has been given by the elders, that information must be true and correct. So the question of doubt was not there. And in this system, the good thing was that the relation between individual and the society, that was very much cohesive. That was based on solidarity. But gradually, as time passed, the system of faith and belief, the knowledge based on based on faith and belief, that was challenged. And a new kind of knowledge started coming up, that is called rationalism. Rationalism started its journey from the element of doubt. Whatever information we are having today, whether it is correct or not, first there should be a doubt. And from doubt only, we can proceed further. René Descartes is supposed to be the person who for the first time in Western philosophy, in Western thought, propounded the theory for rationalism. And he took the help of a maxim, dubito cogito ergo sum. Dubito cogito ergo sum. I doubt, therefore I think, therefore I exist. So my existence is dependent on my thinking, and my thinking is dependent on my doubt. So if there is no doubt, there is no thinking process, and therefore I do not exist. Most of you must have gone through Indian Penal Code paper during your LLB course, LLB program. You might have observed there that a person who is of unsound mind, he is not liable. Why it is so? What is the philosophical reason behind it? The reason was that man who is mad, he has no mind, and therefore he does not exist. So madman, if he does not exist, there is no question of his punishment. So rationalism comes. And rationalism was based on the fact that person, he has got certain innate idea which comes by birth. And that is the reason person receives information, education, and he knows something about the phenomena. After that, the question, this rationalism was challenged by the empiricists. And they said that, no, this knowledge is not innate. Rather, knowledge is based on experience. Only reason cannot give us knowledge. It is the experience that gives us. If the knowledge would have been innate, if the knowledge would have been since birth, then no child would have ever touched red burning coal. Because before, since his birth, he must be knowing that red burning coal will be injuring him. and therefore he would not have touched. But the experience indicates that a child touches that burning coal. It means that before touching that burning coal, red hot coal, he was not knowing that it was having tendency to cause injury. But once he had touched, he has experienced that red in color, that thing has burning tendency and he should not touch it in future. So that was the approach of empiricist. So while rationalism, it gave rise to philosophical or logical approach, empiricism paved the path for scientific development. Later on, it was Immanuel Kant who tried to synthesize rationalism with empiricism by refuting both. And he said that neither of the theories, neither rationalism nor empiricism, are the true theories regarding knowledge. Rather, knowledge lies between the two: experience with reason, reason with experience. If the child who touched the red hot coal at one point of time, subsequently what happens, that whenever he comes in contact with another thing which is red in color, maybe ball, maybe other thing, then he starts crying just having a look of that red thing because of his past experience. He believes that the red color object that may cause injury to him, and therefore he starts crying and he does not go near to that. But the truth is that it is a ball. Everything which is red in color will not cause burn sensation. So it is the experience with reason we can understand the phenomena. That is the scientific development. But reverting back to our main contention, that what is modernity? Modernity is something which is opposed to the tradition which was based on faith and belief. There are many thinkers giving rise to the features of modernity. And Anthony Giddens, basically he is a sociologist. He has said that modernity has 4 attributes. उसके 4 लक्षण होते हैं. The first and foremost is that capitalism is the first and foremost thing. Second one is industrialism. Third thing is state nation concept, state nation. And so first one is capitalism, industrialism, state nation, and fourth one is surveillance. Now what he says, that when modernity comes, capitalism grows. And with the development of capitalism, the industrialism comes. When industrialism comes, then the source of energy happens to be natural product. The traditional source of energy happens to be human power, human muscles. But human muscles are replaced in modern society by natural products. Maybe water, maybe air, maybe atomic energy, so on and so forth. But so far as human force is concerned, that is gradually replaced. That is the state of industrialism. And mass production happens to be the result of capitalism. When there was no capitalism, at that point of time, man was growing, producing, the articles, things in smaller quantity. But with the help of capitalism, the production increases. There is mass production. So mass production coupled with industrialism, that is use of power, electrical power, hydropower, solar power, wind power, so on and so forth. Then the concept of a community, concept of society, that is gradually replaced by the state nation. Now, earlier in a traditional society based on faith and belief, it is the community that is responsible for everything. Man owed allegiance, nistha. So it is the community society with respect to whom everyone was having allegiance. Now in modernity, the community loses its significance, and in place of community, it is the state nation that comes into picture. So the allegiance which man was having towards the society, that shifts towards state, towards nation. And finally, the fourth thing is that in case of modernity, the state maneuvers, the state exercises its vigilance over every individual by surveillance. So surveillance on the individual increases, while in a traditional society, there is no question of surveillance. In modern society, everyone is under surveillance. He is viewed with suspicion by the state. The state always puts its eyes through various means and modes. Later on, Anthony Giddens added two more elements of modernity. So, one was capitalism, industrialism, surveillance, state nation. These were the four, and to these four, he added two more elements in modern society. Modernity is attached with the concept of reflexive society. In modern society, the element of reflexive society intervenes, and an element of disembeddedness that also comes. Disembeddedness. Now, what is reflexive society? A society is said to be reflexive if man sitting in the remote corner, he or she also thinks like a man or woman who is staying far away from him. For example, a woman in a remote village of our country, if she starts thinking that if an American lady or a Canadian lady can seek divorce from her husband on the ground that her husband snores, then why not she can take divorce that the husband does not treat her properly, cordially? Then she should also go for divorce. In fact, in traditional society, or which is called pre-modern society, the concept of divorce was unknown. But when society becomes modern, then the time and space that shrinks. And the difference between two countries, two nations, that is reduced, and the time is also shrinks, as whenever we wish to talk to someone, we may talk by either by using video conferencing or maybe by mobile. So the desire and its satisfaction, its fulfillment, the time gap between these two are minimized. अगर कोई अमेरिकी लेडी किसी को तलाक दे सकती है, अपने हस्बैंड को तलाक दे सकती है किसी छोटे से छोटे आधार पर, तो हम भी तलाक दे सकते हैं. एक आप बात करते हैं जिसको कि इमिटेशन. Man sitting in the remotest village of our country, she may imitate with that of the American lady. Similarly, American lady may imitate with that of Indian. So the society becomes reflexive. Whatever image is in America, that is reflected in India, and whatever image of the person is in India, that is reflected in other country as well. So society becomes reflexive. The second element which he added as a consequence of modernity is that element of disembeddedness. Now, many of you must have born after 2019. You will not be aware of the circumstances, conditions which were prevailing in 1984, 85, 86. But you might have come across, maybe not as a witness to that, but through other sources, that when television started in India, particularly after 1984, at that time, some of the serials, maybe Ramayana or Mahabharata, like that, were so popular that TV was kept somewhere at the center, and the people of nearby village, sometimes of nearby houses in city, they were watching throughout together. It means that the society was not having an element of privacy or like that. If there is a serial and people want to observe it, watch it, then they were permitted to do so. That it was a matter of pleasure that people are watching these serials through my television set. But when society becomes modern, then this element of cooperation, solidarity, that is reduced, and element of disembeddedness comes. Man does not feel as if he was embedded with the other member of the society. When society moved further in that direction, so in one house, you will find that one television set was there. And in whole family, every member of that family used to watch that television. But subsequently what happened, every person has got his own television in his drawing room or in his bedroom to watch serial according to his liking. Why it is that? When the society is pre-modern, traditional, at that point of time, element of embeddedness exists, as if man is the part and parcel of the society. But when modernity comes, one of the consequences of modernity is that man lives in his private sphere. He starts demand for private sphere, and right to privacy, etc., that comes into place. So, according to Anthony Giddens, modernity is such a situation where four elements basically exist or four attributes are present, and out of those four elements, two follow naturally. That is reflexive society and embeddedness. Now, if we proceed further, then we can also say that apart from this, modernity has got some more features. Anthony Giddens is talking about modern society. Now, if we discuss it from the angle of philosophy, then what is new feature of such kind of society is that the faith and belief element is replaced by reason. Reason comes at the center. Number one. Number two, that man does not accept any statement unless and until he experiences that phenomena himself or that phenomena is demonstrated to him. So phenomena which is demonstrable, which is verifiable, only that phenomena will be acceptable in modern society. अब वो समाज नहीं रह गया कि आप किसी से कुछ कह दें वो मान लेगा, और अगर ऐसा होता है तो इसका मतलब कि वह व्यक्ति अभी भी प्री मॉडर्न सोसाइटी में है या परंपरागत समाज में है. तो एम्पिरिसिज्म एक बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट कंपोनेंट आता है. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, द पॉलिटिकल स्ट्रक्चर also changes. In political structure, democracy becomes the slogan in which participation of the population in the formation of the government and running the government plays its role. If the society is not democratic, then we say that that society is pre-modern, traditional society. So democracy is also one of the important component of that. Another element is element of tolerance. In modern society, the faith, belief of others are tolerated. But in pre-modern or traditional society, people do not tolerate the faith belief of other person. They are non-assimilative in nature. उनका एक छोटा सा दायरा है जिसमें उस जाति धर्म संप्रदाय के लोग रहते हैं और उन्हीं के साथ उनका इंटरेक्शन होता है. लेकिन जब सोसाइटी मॉडर्न हो जाती है जब सोसाइटी मॉडर्न होती है तो ऐसी स्थिति में लोगों का जो सहिष्णुता है उसका स्तर बढ़ जाता है. तो modern man is that man who tolerates the faith and belief of other as well. ये इसका एक दूसरा लक्षण. तीसरी जो बात है, नेक्स्ट चौथा पांचवा जो भी नंबर हो उसका, वो यह कि अब मनुष्य केवल और केवल अपने सीमित दायरे में नहीं सोचता, बल्कि उसका कॉन्सेप्ट जो है वह यूनिवर्सलिटी की तरफ, सार्वभौमिकता की तरफ बढ़ता है. और साथ ही साथ ऐसे समाज में एक और तत्व आता है, वह है समता. अभी तक ट्रेडिशनल सोसाइटी में चाहे वह कहीं का भी रहा, चाहे वो एशिया का हो, अफ्रीका का हो या यूरोप का हो, ट्रेडिशनल सोसाइटी में इक्वलिटी या समता नाम की चीज नहीं थी. वहां पर असमानताएं ज्यादा थी. और जब modern society बनती है, then equality becomes one of the important component of that society. Without having faith in equality, this society cannot become modern. Now, if we talk about the economic condition, then in modern society, money plays an important role. And in traditional society, it was the barter or exchange system. That I am having wheat, other person is having rice. So we may exchange it. But when society becomes modern, money plays a role. So those who have been a student of economics at one stage, they must be knowing that money may be defined or understood as money is a matter having four functions: medium, measure, standard, and store. So this money assumes a pivotal role in the society. Now the exchange is outdated. And in this process, after some time, the money is replaced by what you call uh, ATM card or credit card, debit card, and subsequently by digital form of. So I am not taking right now digital form. In modernity, the concept of plastic money comes, or your what you call debit card, credit card, that comes, and your traditional money, that is gradually reduced. Apart from that, the society is members of the society, they devote less time in household chores. For example, a substantial time is consumed in cooking. So a new concept of McDonaldization that comes into picture. So there is no need to cook unnecessarily. It takes a lot of time. Why not we should place an order to Zomato or Swiggy or McDonald, and let us have something for us from that place only. So the traditional role of cooking, that is reduced, and McDonaldization process starts. And when modernity comes, it also brings with it an element of epiphany, जिसको आप दिव्य प्रकाश कहते हैं. होता क्या है, जब मॉडर्निटी आती है तो उसमें जब इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन होगा तो कुछ इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर बनेंगे, और जब इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर बनेगा तो लोग वहां पर मूव करेंगे, वहां जाएंगे, उनके पास पैसे आएंगे. अब उनको गेहूं, अनाज, इस तरह से चीजें नहीं मिलेगी, वहां पैसे मिलेंगे. और जब पैसा मिलेगा तो वो वापस अपने पैतृक निवास पर आएगा कभी. और जब वो अपने पैतृक स्थान पर आता है तो अपने साथ वो इंडस्ट्रियल सोसाइटी के कल्चर को भी ले आता है. अगर आप अपने इर्द गिर्द लोगों को देखें तो जो लोग बॉम्बे, कलकत्ता, दिल्ली या किसी मेट्रोपोलिस सिटी में गए, वहां पर कुछ दिन रहने के बाद वो जब लौट करके आते हैं तो वो वहां का कल्चर भी अपने साथ ले आते हैं. और जब कल्चर ले आते हैं तो उसका एक एलिमेंट होता है उस मनी का एलिमेंट, और उस मनी से उनके जो घर का रहन सहन का स्तर है वो बढ़ जाता है. सो दैट इज दैट व्हेन अ सोसाइटी बिकम्स मॉडर्न, a new kind of lifestyle takes place in a traditional society. तो ये जो सोसाइटीज हैं जिसको कि हम मॉडर्न कहते हैं, उसको हम ये जो 7-8 लक्षण की बात हम कर रहे हैं, इससे हम पहचान सकते हैं कि सोसाइटी हमारी मॉडर्न है कि नहीं. लेकिन अगर मॉडर्न सोसाइटी को फिलोसॉफिकली देखा जाए तो modernity as a concept has got 3 attributes, 3 features. What are they? One is equality. Another is rationality. And third one is universality. सभी चीजों को अगर आप क्लब करके देखें तो इसमें यही 3 एलिमेंट आएंगे. हम मैकडोनाल्ड का खाना क्यों खाएं? भाई रीजन यही है कि वो समय ज्यादा लेता है घर में खाना बनाने में. मैकडोनाल्ड से, स्विगी से, जोमेटो से खाना मंगा लेंगे तो हमारा समय बच जाएगा, हम काम कर लेंगे. तो एक तो काम आ गया, एक तो तत्व आ गया रैशनलिटी. equality or universality. Whatever knowledge, whatever experience we are having here, the same is valid for other place. Man is a reasoned animal, and this man is reasoned throughout the globe. Wherever man is found, he is a rational being. So the attributes of man, the needs of man throughout the globe are the same. If we see from different angle that how the modernity has been defined by others, then Immanuel Durkheim, whose name you might have come across in Sociological School of Jurisprudence, he says that in modern society there is stratification, and stratification not on the basis of caste, creed, religion, stratification on the basis of their profession, on the basis of their occupation, a vocation. So a new kind of society is formed in which lawyers have their own guild, doctors have their own, engineers have their own, chartered accountants have their own. So in that way, you can say that there are a lot of layers in the society, what is called stratification. Society is more stratified in a modern society because of their vocation and profession. While some modern thinkers, they will say that modernity in fact is a bundle of values. Modern man carries certain values, and those values, if are not existent, if those values are not present, then that society cannot be said to be a modern society. Particularly Talcott Parson, he says that modernity is nothing but a bundle of values. Some of the persons, some of the thinkers, they opine that modernity is in fact politicization of nature. Politicization of nature means that environment becomes one of the issues for political discussion, and environment is capable of being exploited to the maximum. So commodification of each and everything along with politicization of nature and this society is a risk. तीन चीजों की बात करते हैं. एक तो हम पर्यावरण का राजनीतिकरण करते हैं. सभी वस्तुओं को पढ़ने या कमोडिफाई करते हैं, खरीदा और बेचा जा सकता है. और खरीदने बेचने के साथ ही साथ जो समाज है वह एक खतरे की घंटी हो जाती है, रिस्क सोसाइटी में. नाउ व्हेन ही टॉक्स अबाउट रिस्क सोसाइटी, then he suggests, particularly Ulrich Beck, his name comes here, Ulrich, U-L-R-I-C-H-B-E-C-K, Ulrich Beck. He is of the opinion that a traditional society is not tragedy-free society, but whatever tragedy takes place, that is natural tragedy, natural disaster. Maybe flood, maybe lightning, maybe drought, सूखा पड़ गया, बाढ़ आ गई, आंधी तूफान सुनामी आ गया, ये सब चीजें होती. And in modern society, the society is risked not only because of these natural disasters, but also man-made disaster. So why Chernobyl explosion took place? Nuclear atomic center in Russia. It was a man-made hazard, and man had to suffer. Why flood is very much prevalent? Because of man-made disaster. Man has interfered with the environment, and therefore disasters are coming. Now, when disaster comes, then these disasters are commodified, and we can purchase the risk and we can sell the risk. आप बीमा लेते हैं, बीमा की पॉलिसी लेते हैं, तो उसमें it may be insurance against fire, it may be against tempest, flood, it may be against any such disaster. तो हमने क्या किया, रिस्क को खरीद लिया. ठीक है कि अगर हमारा कोई हानि होता है तो हम उस रिस्क को खरीद सकते हैं, हम उसको भरपाई कर सकते हैं. So in modern society, risk can be purchased. Some are of the opinion, and if we proceed with that of Himalaya Durkheim and Sir Henry Maine, Himalaya Durkheim says that every society at one point or the other was mechanical society, and with the passage of time, it became organic society. When he uses the term mechanical society, it means that the society was homogeneous by and large, and homogeneity included in it that main economic activity of such society was agrarian, was agricultural. Some of them were directly associated with agriculture, some were tangentially attached with that agriculture. For example, carpenter, blacksmith, potter, all these persons, they were not directly connected with the agriculture, but they were supplementing the activity of agriculture. Person who is cultivating the field, tilting the field, and the person who is managing all this, they are primarily concerned with the agriculture. But the implements which are used in agriculture, they are made and repaired by a particular segment of the society who contribute not directly but indirectly. So homogeneity is the important component of such, and in such mechanical society, custom plays important role. Man is bound by the tradition and custom of that particular village, particular community, particular region, and the law, violation of that law is generally oppressive. But when society becomes organic, then the society is converted into heterogeneity, number one. Number two, that law is no more oppressive, rather it becomes restorative. And here you will find the activity is not only agriculture, rather lot of activities come into picture. Some are doctors, some are engineers, some are lawyers by profession, chartered accountant, teacher, so on and so forth. And some are agriculturists. But the stratification takes place. Society is no more homogeneous. Economic activities are different. Sale of commodities, seller, and there are certain persons who are selling the services. So in that way, in place of homogeneity of economic activity, there is heterogeneity. And the second thing is that in such society, It is not the custom which regulates their behavior. Because in industrial area, when industry comes, when urbanization takes place, lot of person from different part of the country or maybe world, they move to that place, having their different custom and culture. So that different custom and culture cannot be accepted as law, acceptable to all. There is a need for legislation. There is a need for enactment of law, by which everyone, whatever be his caste, creed, religion, race, whatever it be, he will be governed by the same principle. And here the law is not oppressive in nature, rather it is restorative in nature. Take one simple example. You might have come across the term Khap Panchayat. It is a tradition-bound society, tradition-stricken society. And there the law is very, very repressive and oppressive. They are governed by solidarity. We all are Jat, you are Gujar or Sani, like that. And therefore, we are having one common agenda. There cannot be difference between two Sanis or two Jat and Gujar. It is tradition-bound society. Okay. And their laws are always oppressive. Whosoever violates their customary law, the person shall be subjected to severe kind of punishment. If a girl of one community marries another, the Khap may take decision that both of them should be eliminated, they should be killed. Whether it is right or wrong, I am not going to that. But point is that if the society is tradition bound, if it is a mechanical society, law or custom in that situation happens to be oppressive and subjugating, repressive. But in modern society, when the society becomes organic, then custom is replaced by legislation, and the purpose of law is not oppressive and repressive, rather it is restorative, to restore the person in the same position had the injury not been caused to him or her. And if you take the example of Sir Henry Maine on similar line, he has not used the word mechanical society or organic society. Instead, he has used another term, what is called static society and progressive society. But the features of static society and progressive society are the same. The static society is predominantly agricultural society, where man is known by his status. What is his position in the family and the society? And in progressive society, this man is not only in a state of heterogeneity of activity, economic activities, rather man is known by his individual capacity. So in a static society, man is known by his father, grandfather, or by village, but not having his individuality. And the head of the family, that is called pater familias, he will take all the decisions, and other members of the family, they will have to simply obey, no other option. But in modern, in progressive society, according to Sir Henry Maine, the individuality, equality, that plays important role. Now, if you see Indian Contract Act, which was passed in 1872, or for that matter, Transfer of Property Act 1882, you will find that before that legislation, Contract Act or Property Act, Transfer of Property Act, the property could be sold and purchased only by the head of the family. Contract could be entered into only by the head of the family. But after 1872 and after 1882 Transfer of Property Act, Any person who is competent to contract, he can be a transferor and transferee. Now the status has been done away with. Important thing is that what is his level of maturity, understanding. Every person is an individual in himself or herself. So he should be given capacity to sell, purchase, or to do whatever he thinks. If a man who has attained the age of 18 or he has become major according to law applicable to him, he may sign a contract. He need not take permission from his father or grandfather should he put his signature or not. Now he has got individuality. And in this society, important thing is freedom of will. That is the important. In static society, there was no freedom of will. Whatever will was of the society, whatever was the will of the family members, that prevailed. If I give you simple example, that in traditional society or static society, according to Sir Henry Maine, a boy could not marry a girl of his own choice. Whatever father, grandfather, or the elder member of the family have decided, accordingly, the boy was to marry with that girl. And similar thing was with the girl also. Girl could not marry a boy of her own choice. But when society becomes progressive, individuality, equality, and freedom of will, that comes into picture. And now a boy or a girl, they may choose their life partner on the basis of their own will and wish, which was not there. So point here is that development of the society from pre-modern to post-modern, that is a continuous process. It does not mean that at one particular point of time when we slept, we were pre-modern, traditional, and when we got up early in the morning, we found ourselves modern. No, it is a time continuum theory that gradually traditional society, modernity, post-modernity, all these things are running. So it is only a stage, but it does not come suddenly. Gradually it percolates in the society. So when enlightenment comes, then society moves towards modernity. If we say that Sir Isaac Newton, when he saw an apple falling towards earth and propounded his theory of gravitation on the principle of logic, reason, that may be said to be the turning point. Earlier, what was the explanation? The explanation was that the ball or the apple falls towards the earth because God so desires. That was the theological approach. The metaphysical approach was that there must be some reason behind it, cause behind it. But that cause could not be verified and demonstrated. That was a theological, that was a philosophical or metaphysical approach. But Sir Isaac Newton gave the theory which could be verified and demonstrated at any place, at any point of time. So modernity is coming with the element of reason, rationality, equality, and universality. Apart from that, there may be other factors, but these three are the key factors which are there. Now the question arises that whether modernity is changing and we are entering into post-modernity, or it is the extension of modernity itself. Particularly Habermas, he will say that postmodernity in fact is extended form of modernity. By the term post, we should not confuse that after modernity. No, postmodernity is that thought process, that philosophical or epistemological word which is used with reference to modernity. And when the present time we are assessing that what enlightenment has given, what science has given to us, what modernity has given to us, then we find that the history of 300 years of modernity has been gloomy. It has given the humanity abject poverty. World has witnessed 2 world wars, and most of the people, they are infected with dreaded disease. So they challenge that modernity has not given, it has not improved. While modernity had promised that when the society will become modern, scientific temper will develop, democracy will come. All these miseries of men that will subside, that will not exist. But the promise proved to be a false promise. Now the question is that should man go for an alternative to modernity? So post-modernity in fact is not after modernity, rather it is an alternative to modern. यह उसका एक विकल्प। तो अगर आपने 3 शब्दों को लिखा है, रैशनैलिटी, दूसरा इक्वालिटी और तीसरा यूनिवर्सलिटी, तो जो ये तो मॉडर्निटी के हो गए लक्षण, और पोस्ट मॉडर्निटी के जो लक्षण हैं वो ठीक इसके विपरीत, इसके बाइनरी है। तो जहां पर आपने रैशनैलिटी लिखा, वहां पर अब आपको इमोशन लिखना पड़ेगा। जहां पर आपने इक्वालिटी लिखा, वहां पर डिफरेंस लिखना पड़ेगा। और तीसरा जहां पर आपने यूनिवर्सलिटी लिखा, इसका अपोजिट या बाइनरी वह है पर्टिकुलरिटी। तो जो मॉडर्निटी है वह तर्क या विवेक को प्रथम स्थान देती है, समता को कहती है कि हम सब लोग एक तरह के हैं, सब मनुष्य समान है, और साथ ही साथ सार्वभौमिकता को भी स्थान देती है। लेकिन ये तीनों जो संप्रत्यय हैं या कॉन्सेप्ट हैं, इन तीनों से मनुष्य का बहुत कल्याण नहीं हुआ। तो ऐसी स्थिति में जब इसके अल्टरनेटिव दिए गए, तो रैशनैलिटी की जगह इमोशन, इक्वलिटी की जगह डिफरेंस, और तीसरा सार्वभौमिकता या यूनिवर्सलिटी की जगह पर्टिकुलरिटी। अब अगर आप देखें तो ये पोस्ट मॉडर्निटी हमारे यहां डेवलप कैसे हुई, या कहीं पर भी कैसे डेवलप। इफ यू आर इंटरेस्टेड इन वॉचिंग old classic movies, then you will find that those movies were based on some reason, some message that was given. चाहे वह लैंडलॉर्ड के अगेंस्ट रहा हो, चाहे वह सामाजिक कुरीतियों के अगेंस्ट रहा हो, चाहे वह अंग्रेजों के विरुद्ध रहा हो जो हमारे ऊपर रूल कर रहे थे, उनके विरुद्ध बना हो। तो कहीं ना कहीं उसमें मैसेज था। हम अभी उस पर आते हैं, कहाँ मैसेज था। इसी तरह से जब हम किताब पढ़ते थे, कविताएं पढ़ते थे, कहानी पढ़ते थे, तो उन कविताओं में, उन कहानियों में भी बड़ा क्लियर कट मैसेज हुआ करता था। और पुरानी कहानियों में एक प्रश्न जरूर मिलता था कि इस कहानी से हमें क्या सीख मिलती है, या पोएट्री में आपको ये कि व्हाट इज द सेंट्रल आइडिया और सेंट्रल थीम ऑफ दिस पोएम। सो मैसेज वाज वेरी क्लियर। अगर आपने विलियम वर्ड्सवर्थ की लूसी पढ़ी हो, तो दैट वाज फुल ऑफ पैथोस। और अगर आप कोई कहानी देख रहे होंगे तो उसमें आपको एक मैसेज, क्लियर कट मैसेज मिलेगा। तो अगर हम मूवी के वर्ड में आए, मूवी लिटरेचर सबको एक कैटेगरी में कर दें, अगर हम मूवी का एग्जांपल दें, तो पहले आपकी मूवीज में क्लियर कट एक मैसेज हुआ करता था। मे बी इट माइट बी अ रिवोल्ट अगेंस्ट द सोशल प्रैक्टिसेस, और इट कुड बी अगेंस्ट द पॉलिटिकल स्ट्रेटजीज, लाइक दैट। अब आज की अगर मूवी आप देखें तो आप से ये पूछा जाए कि इस मूवी का मैसेज क्या था, संदेश क्या देती, तो हमको तो लगता है कि शायद हम में से एक आध ही कोई आदमी बता पाए कि ये जो हम मूवी देख करके आए हैं इसका मैसेज क्या था। इसमें आपको ये कह सकते हैं आप कि इसका संगीत बहुत बढ़िया है, इसका पिक्चराइजेशन बहुत बढ़िया है, इसके एक्टर बहुत स्मार्ट हैं, अच्छे लग रहे हैं, इनका ड्रेसिंग सेंस बहुत अच्छा है। लेकिन अगर पूरे मूवी का एक मैसेज कहा जाए तो आप नहीं बता पाए। इसी तरह से अगर हम एक राइटअप की बात करें अरुंधति रॉय की, उन्होंने एक किताब लिखी ना, क्या, गॉडेस ऑफ स्मॉल थिंग्स। उनकी किताब क्या है, यही है ना?
यस सर।
अगर आप इसको पूरे नॉवल को पढ़ जाइए और ये पूछिए कि साहब इसका मैसेज क्या है, तो मैसेज आपको नहीं पता। तो कहने का तात्पर्य ये था कि अब जो मूवी या लिटरेचर में लोगों का पार्टिसिपेशन है, जो लिखे पढ़े जा रहे हैं, उसमें आपको मैसेज नहीं मिलेगा। अर्थात इट इज नॉट बेस्ड ऑन रीजन एंड रैशनैलिटी। व्हाट इट इन्फ्लुएंसेस इज योर इमोशन, आवर इमोशन। लव स्टोरी ऑफ 1942 पिक्चर आई थी किसी जमाने में, या पिक्चर आई दिल वाले दुल्हनिया ले जाएंगे, लाइक दैट, आशिकी, ये सब जो मूवी है, अगर इसको आपने देखा हो या इसका रिव्यू पढ़ा हो तो आप यही कह सकते हैं कि साहब इसमें कोई मैसेज नहीं है रीजन के आधार पर, यह केवल और केवल ये इमोशन को अपील करता है। उसका गाना बहुत बढ़िया बज रहा है, हमको अच्छा लग रहा है, सुनने को अच्छा लग रहा है, कर्णप्रिय है, बड़ी अच्छी बात, मैसेज इज मिसिंग। सो इफ यू रिकॉल द डेज व्हेन दिस thing started happens to be sometimes in 1990 onwards. तो पोस्ट मॉडर्निटी का जो एरा है वह 20वीं शताब्दी के बाद का, 20वीं शताब्दी में जो है 1980 और उसके बाद का से शुरू होता है। ये 8वें दशक में आता है और यह सीधे सीधे मॉडर्निटी को चैलेंज करता है। ये आपका इक्वलिटी, यूनिफॉर्मिटी, यूनिवर्सलिटी और रैशनैलिटी, ये सब कुछ नहीं। अगर देश में एक बड़ा बांध बन जाएगा जिससे बिजली मिलेगी, तो दूसरा आदमी पूछेगा भाई बिजली मिलेगी तो जिसको मिलेगी, हम तो यहां से उजड़ जाएंगे, हम तो यहां से हटा दिए जाएंगे, डिस्प्लेस हो जाएंगे, हमको क्या मिलेगा? अगर आपने डैम की ऊंचाई बढ़ा दी तो हजारों हजार लोग वहां से हट जाएंगे, उनको डिस्प्लेस कर दिया जाएगा। बिजली उनको बने या न बने उससे हमको क्या फर्क पड़ता है। तो या आप ऐसे कहें कि अगर हम ड्रेसिंग सेंस की तरफ चलें तो मॉडर्निटी में आप ये पाते हैं कि जो भी कपड़ा आदमी पहनता है उस वह कहीं ना कहीं उसमें तर्क सन्निहित है। लेकिन जो पोस्ट मॉडर्न सोसाइटी है वो कहती है कि अब हमको जो है इस तर्क से कोई मतलब नहीं है, हम ये देखेंगे कि थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट। तो अब उसका नाम भी नहीं समझ में आता है कि हम इसको क्या बुलाएं, क्या कहें। पॉइंट इज दैट माई ड्रेस शुड बी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम दैट ऑफ द अदर। अगर ट्राउजर कोई पहन रहा है तो हो सकता है कि उसका एक लिंब जो है वो लाल रंग का हो, दूसरा हरे रंग का। लाल और हरे का कोई रीजन नहीं हो सकता, जस्ट टू लुक डिफरेंट। तो ये जो लुकिंग डिफरेंट, थिंकिंग डिफरेंट, ये जो प्रोसेस है दैट इज पोस्ट मॉडर्न। और इसकी जो शुरुआत हम कर सकते हैं कि अगर आप गौर करें कि जब टोमेटो मैगी केचप मार्केट में आया तो उसमें था इट इज डिफरेंट। है तो ये टमाटर की चटनी। टमाटर की चटनी चाहे किसान वाला बनाए, चाहे कोई दूसरी कंपनी वाला बनाए, चाहे आप घर को बनाए, कहीं तो जाएगी वो टमाटर की चटनी। लेकिन टोमेटो मैगी केचप इज डिफरेंट। ये पोस्ट मॉडर्न मैसेज है। तो इन पोस्ट मॉडर्निटी व्हाट हैपेंस दैट द ट्रेडिशनल पैरामीटर्स of modernity they are open to challenge। अब हम पोस्ट मॉडर्निटी में जब हम इंटर करते हैं तो पोस्ट मॉडर्निटी में थॉट प्रोसेस का फॉर्मेशन कैसे होता है। तो इफ वी नो द सोसाइटी एज मॉडर्न सोसाइटी देन द इंस्ट्रूमेंट टू कंट्रोल मॉडर्न सोसाइटी विल बी अकॉर्डिंग टू नीड्स ऑफ द सोसाइटी। अगर हम अपने संविधान की बात करें तो वह तो इक्वलिटी की बात करता है कि सभी लोग समान है, वह रीजन पर बेस्ड है। लेकिन समाज जो है अब आपका ट्रेडिशनल सोसाइटी, मॉडर्न सोसाइटी नहीं रह गया, अब वो धीरे धीरे बदल रहा है। तो बदलते समाज में आप किस तरह के कानून की अपेक्षा रखते हैं, इस पॉइंट से पोस्ट मॉडर्निटी एंड लॉ इट बिकम्स इंपॉर्टेंट। सो टुडे आई विल लीव यू हियर ओनली and next we will discuss that how we can identify the features of postmodernity with the help of different thinkers and philosophers। हम जो दूसरे थिंकर्स की सहायता से हम कैसे पोस्ट मॉडर्निटी के कॉन्सेप्ट को समझ सकते हैं। आज की तारीख में हम केवल इतना ही कर सकते हैं कि पहले जब हम मॉडर्न सोसाइटी में थे या मॉडर्न सोसाइटी में हम मॉडर्निटी में बिलीव करते और सामान खरीदने जाते तो पहला कंसिडरेशन क्या था कि हमारा सामान जो है वह टिकाऊ होना चाहिए, उसकी ड्यूरेबिलिटी ज्यादा होनी चाहिए और पैसा हमको कम देना चाहिए। एक बात। दूसरा ये था कि साहब जब आवश्यकता हो तब आप बाजार जाइए और अपने मतलब की चीज इन आधार पर खरीदिए। तो जब आप वेल्थ ऑफ नेशंस एडम स्मिथ की देखेंगे तो उसमें आपको मिलेगा कि व्हेन मैन इज इन मार्केट ही एक्सरसाइजेस हिज रीजन टू द अटमोस्ट। कैसे? वो पहले देखता है कि साहब सस्ता मिलना चाहिए और टिकाऊ सामान चाहिए। लेकिन आज की तारीख में हमको सस्ता और महंगा इसकी तो कोई बात ही नहीं है, कितना दिन चलेगा इसकी कोई बात ही नहीं है। बस ये है कि एक बार अच्छा लगना चाहिए। तो भले ही हम एक बार पहने और वो फट जाए, दाम चाहे उसका जो भी हो, अगर हमारा पॉकेट परमिट करता है तो उसको हम खरीदेंगे। तो उसमें जो ये रीजन का तत्व है वो मिसिंग है। एंड मोर ओवर वी डू नॉट परचेज पर्टिकुलर item. We go by brand. अगर एक टेलीविजन जो कि आपके घर के बगल में कोई व्यक्ति एक कुटीर उद्योग के रूप में बनाता है और आपको खरीदने के लिए कहा जाए तो आप नहीं खरीदेंगे, भले ही उसका परफॉर्मेंस चाहे सोनी से कंपेयर कर लें, पैनासोनिक से कर लें या किसी अन्य से कर लें, हो सकता है उनसे बेहतर भी हो, लेकिन हम नहीं खरीदें, हम ब्रांडेड खरीदें। तो हमें शर्ट चाहिए तो रेमंड्स की शर्ट चाहिए, हमें शर्ट जो है वो लुई फिलिप्स, और लुई फिलिप्स क्या बेच रहा है? कपड़ा नहीं बेच रहा है, वो अपना इंसीनिया या लोगो जो लगता है वो बेच रहा है। In fact, we are not purchasing the real commodity. We are purchasing the symbol. We are purchasing the insignia. And what for? भाई हमने लुई फिलिप्स की शर्ट पहन रखी है, just by that the person feels limited. वो इमोशनली अटैच्ड है उस शर्ट से, क्योंकि उसने लुई फिलिप्स पहन रखी है। वो 2 दिन चलेगा कि 3 दिन चलेगा, having insignia of Louis Phillips, he तो उसमें बंटवारा या फ्रेगमेंटेशन या इसको शुद्ध हिंदी में विखंडन कहते हैं, वह बढ़ता है। ऐसा मैंने पढ़ा था कहीं कि ऐश्वर्या राय ने अपनी आंखों का इंश्योरेंस करा रखा, सलमान खान ने बाइसेप्स और ट्राइसेप्स का इंश्योरेंस करा रखा। तो अब मैन इज नॉट व्यूड फ्रॉम हिज कंप्लीटनेस, रादर मैन इज व्यूड इन फ्रेगमेंटेड फॉर्म। तो आंख अच्छी है उसका इंश्योरेंस करा लिया, बाल अच्छा है उसका इंश्योरेंस करा लिया, दांत बहुत अच्छे हैं उसका इंश्योरेंस करा लिया, मसल्स अच्छे हैं बाइसेप्स ट्राइसेप्स उसका इंश्योरेंस करा लिया। तो जो होलिस्टिक था approach, that is converted into fragmented approach. So fragmentation takes place. Now the society, the family can never be Hindu undivided family. अब उसमें चाहे जाने में या अनजाने में परिस्थितियों के चलते अब उसमें फ्रेगमेंटेशन। अगर देश है तो उस देश का विखंडन, लोग जो पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज हैं उसमें लोगों का जो कंपैशन और फीलिंग के साथ अटैचमेंट था वो नहीं होगा, बल्कि कुछ उनके सेल्फ इंटरेस्ट होंगे जिसके आधार पर वो जुड़ेंगे और हटेंगे। तो इन पोस्ट मॉडर्निटी में बड़ा ही आधारभूत परिवर्तन होता है कि जो हम सेल परचेज कर रहे हैं, न तो हम रियल कमोडिटी खरीद रहे हैं, न ही हम जो है उसको रियल पैसा दे रहे हैं, डिजिटल फॉर्म में पैसा दे रहे हैं। हम इंसीनिया खरीद रहे हैं, कपड़ा नहीं खरीद रहे हैं। फिर हम फ्रेगमेंटेशन के स्टेज में पहुंच रहे हैं, और साथ ही फ्रेगमेंटेशन का मतलब यह है कि हर चीज में फ्रेगमेंटेशन, मैन इज फ्रेगमेंटेड, रिलेशन इज फ्रेगमेंटेड, एंड दिस कंट्री इज फ्रेगमेंटेड, स्टेट्स आर बीइंग। कोई कहेगा कि उत्तर प्रदेश को 4 भागों में बांट देना चाहिए इन द नेम ऑफ कन्वीनियंस। कोई कहेगा कि साहब बिहार को तो अभी हमने झारखंड और बिहार में बांटा है, हम इसको और बांटेंगे, नॉर्थ बिहार को 2 भागों में बांटेंगे, ईस्टर्न नॉर्थ बिहार और सदर्न नॉर्थ बिहार। तो फ्रेगमेंटेशन का दौर आता है। तो जब यहाँ पर फ्रेगमेंटेशन होगा तब प्रश्न उठता है कि हमारा लॉ क्या इन सब चीजों को डील करने के लिए पर्याप्त है? व्हाट काइंड ऑफ लॉ शुड बी देयर? ठीक है, अभी हमारे पास कोई लॉ नहीं है इसके तहत, लेकिन सोचने की आवश्यकता है। सो विद दिस आई वुड लाइक टू कंक्लूड हियर ओनली, एंड next we will discuss about various thinkers who have contributed towards the postmodern thinking. If anyone has any question about today's discussion, he or she is free to ask. अगर किसी के पास कोई सवाल है जो वो रखना चाहता है तो रख सकता है।
सर
अच्छा, हमारा नेक्स्ट क्लास कब फिक्स है आप लोगों के साथ? आपके पास है कुछ टाइम टेबल?
सर कल आपका क्लास फिक्स है, 12 बजे से ही है सर वो।
ठीक
जी सर।
ठीक है, फिर आज हम यहीं पर समाप्त करते हैं और कल।
थैंक यू सर। आज
थैंक यू
आपका
सर।
सर बहुत अच्छा लेक्चर रहा, बहुत मतलब इंफॉर्मेटिव था सर। जो स्टूडेंट्स के बारे में इतना डीपली सर सोचा नहीं था, जो स्टूडेंट इतना डीपली होता है।
सर
Very
इतना
nice.
इजी लैंग्वेज में आपने एक्सप्लेन किया तो बहुत अच्छा लगा सर, थैंक यू।
नहीं भाई, हमारी बात आपको समझ में आनी चाहिए जो मैं कह रहा हूँ, और इतना
जी सर।
सिंपल होना चाहिए जैसे इसको हम देख रहे हैं अपनी आंखों से।
सर ये एक्चुअली थोड़ा कॉम्प्लेक्स था, लेकिन आपने इतना इजी बताया कि बहुत अच्छे से समझ में आया।
थैंक यू।
यस सर, थैंक यू सर।
थैंक यू।